Welcome back to the channel. If you've just joined us, I'm in the process of building a green box Nobler from Top Flite, kit N-1. I believe that's the first kit that was kitted, or the first Nobler that was kitted by Top Flite. Since the last video, I worked on my wingtip. That one rib was jutted up forward. It was forward to the rest of the wing. It wasn't lining up with the rest of the ribs, so I fixed that issue. I'll take you off the tripod and I'll bring you around and show you what I did. And I got my square, 1/4-inch square leading edge set up, ready to glue, and all the ribs are lined up. So I'll bring you around and show you what we got going on. Okay, as you can see, I fixed my issue with the rib. Now what I'm going to have to do is, you can see how it's the rib's kind of too big on the end there, so I'll have to just sand it with the rest of the airfoil once it's glued and everything's set in place. But I got my 1/4-inch square leading edge in. I haven't cut it on the center yet, and I'm planning to cut it a little bit long, and then I'll sand it to the actual center. I think that'd be the best way to do it. But so far everything is straight with no warps, and I've got it pressed up against the leading edge with these weights. They're like steel weights, and that really helps keep everything straight. But you can see it's coming right along. All my glue's dry from the previous video. All right, I'll put you back on the tripod, and I'll bring the tripod over close to where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, well, that's probably the best I can get you for now. When I get stuff done, I'll take the camera off the tripod and show you. But I'm going to start gluing this leading edge on. That's the next step in the process. It says cement 1/4-inch square leading edge pieces onto wing and tack glue ribs to the spars, but I've already tack glued the ribs to the spars, so that's done. Then I gotta drill the hole for the bell crank mounting screw into the 1/8 ply mount. The correct position is marked on the plywood. It's got a little dimple there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing these leading edge pieces and get both of those set up. We'll see how she goes. I don't want to put a ton of glue. I think I'll just glue the top side first, and then I'll flip the wing over and do the other side, because I don't want it dripping down and getting on my ribs, because then it'll make it sand hard. It'll be hard to sand. So that's the tip. Looks straight. And I went through and checked all the alignment to everything. Everything's good. And I never put glue on the outside of the tip. I only glue the inside, because when you go to sand that, you're going to have a big lump of glue there you'll have to try to sand out, and it's near impossible to get it to sand out without ruining the rest of the rib. You just go slowly, one at a time. You always want to go back and check as you're gluing it, because you might move that spar, or you might move that leading edge. So if you do that, you want to make sure you correct it before you keep gluing. Otherwise you're going to glue it all, push to one side or either way, and you know that makes for a heck of a mess to try to fix. So far so good. I always like to eyeball it after I glue it in case I need to adjust anything. These glue tips, or the tips of these bottles, keep getting glue caked up on them. You gotta pick that off every now and then so you can get in where you're supposed to get. I can't use those, they got these little thin tips you can put on there, but it's hard to use with thick CA. It doesn't want to like flow easy. So far so good. These weights really help. That way you don't have to pin anything, you just press it up against there. Now these two ribs, they leave room for a 1/16 inch sheet, so they don't look as big as the rib 1 and 2. They're not as thick as the rest of the ribs because they get that 1/16 sheeting that's gonna go up there first. It's got 2 layers of 1/16 sheeting. Alright, we'll let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll do my measurement for cutting that. And the way I'll do that is I'll just use the center. I'll bring you over here. It's so hard to film these things by yourself. But the way I'll cut that is I'll hit my center like this, center spar, and just kind of eyeball. You see where that sheeting is right there. I just kind of eyeball that, but I'll leave it long, and I'll make a mark, cut it, and then we'll sand it to the length. So I'll let that dry for a few minutes, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so somehow my camera got switched to slow-mo, so all that video of this side got messed up, so I just deleted it. So I'm going to show you what I did. I first joined it here, and then I put these weights against it to hold the leading edge 1/4 inch square in place. Then all I did was go and put a drop of glue on either side of each rib. I'm going too fast, it's kind of making me dizzy. Just put a drop of glue on each side of each rib, like that. And I'm going to cut that off, and I'll flip it over and put a reinforcement glue joint on the other side. So I got both top sides ribs glued to the leading edge. So sorry about that, I meant to film it, but I checked most of it and all you saw was the back of my head anyway. So I'll stop here and I'll get that cut off the end and flipped over. Okay, I'm at the point now where I'm supposed to do the bell crank. I'm going to do it in the way it says in the plan. I'm going to use the old-fashioned bell cranks. I'm not going to do the copper tubing like some people do, and they put their wire or the cable through the copper tubing. It doesn't show that on the plan, so I'm not doing it that way. I'll bring you closer so you can see how to wrap the lines, and we'll go from there. I got to drill the hole in the bell crank platform as well, so I'll get set up for all that. Okay, we'll start by drilling the hole. It's a 1/8 inch drill bit to drill the hole where that little dimple is right there, and you just let the drill do the work. Don't push on it. Try to avoid tear out. Alright, now we'll test fit that bolt. Now I'm really unsure. I know this screw has to go in from the bottom. I'm thinking it goes through the washer first. I think I'm going to leave it slightly big. think I might clean it up a little. So I'm gonna bring this in from the bottom. I think it has to go through a washer like this from the bottom. Yeah, I'm sure that's how it goes. I'll test fit it and see how it looks. Okay, so there's the bell crank in position. And I'm guessing this little phenolic washer goes on top of here, along with the lock washer. This is just a guess. I really don't have any idea. I'm just guessing here. Because the bell crank didn't come with instructions, and the plans don't show a perfect bell crank. They show a Vico bell crank, but they're basically they look the same. My only concern is the clearance underneath that bell crank for the push rod. So I'll have to figure that out. Let's see what the plan looks like. It shows a washer underneath, then it shows about a 1/4 inch space in between. So it shows the washer, the plywood, washer, nut, bell crank, and nut. But I don't have those extra washers or the extra nut. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there. Maybe I can search through my junk. Maybe I have something. Let's see. Okay, I knew if I looked hard enough I'd find the washers I need. Number 6 washers. This should fit. They might be a little big, but they'll suit the purpose I need. So they'll go on there like that. I have to put maybe 3 of them on there. Like that. Then the bushing. Then the bell crank. Let's see. I need more. I need more distance. I'm gonna put another washer in there. It's gotta be, it's showing a 1/4 inch. I'll measure it to make sure. Actually it's showing 3/16. So let's try that. That's probably gonna be way too high. That's a 1/4. I don't mind having a little bit extra space, but I'd like to make it as perfect as possible. And you know, I think it goes like this. So if that's the case, I think then you put this phenolic washer on there, and another washer, then the lock nut, and then the nut. but let's measure that. Right there's 3/16. So I guess that's what we'll do. That'll be the bell crank, and that should moves freely. All right. So now I gotta find the push rod because that hole has to be probably drilled out, I would assume, because it ain't gonna match this. It's got to be drilled out. So let's take this back apart. Now that I have the pieces, I'm going to go ahead and on the other side of this bell crank, I have to glue that. So I'll save these. I knew if I went digging around, I'd save all kinds of hardware and stuff. And I've got boxes of stuff. Because you never know when you need it. Now, on these bell cranks, I'll see if I can show you close enough. You'll see like a burr. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a burr on that. I'm going to take a drill bit. Well, I have to drill this. Where am I at? This hole here. But I'm going to take the drill bit and deburr that on both ends, because that'll, not that it's going to be flown, but that'll also cut through the cable prematurely. So let's see, let me get a bigger drill bit to do that. That worked pretty good. Just a slight little, I just take it on that hole and just do like a little deburr. That's perfect. And this is the hole I need to drill out. That inner hole, I'll just match it up to my closest drill bit. Let's see what that might be. I'm guessing no, 3/32. Can't be. Yeah. I'm going to try 5/64 first. And it looks too tight just by matching it up to the drill bit. It might work though. I'll try that first 5/32. I'll do that by hand, I guess, because there's no laying it flat on the drill press. That might be the right size. Let's try deburring that. See what it does. Boy, it is just it is just the right size. Maybe I'll just run that drill bit up and down through there a couple more times because I don't want to go any bigger. It'll be too sloppy. That should have it right there. And after I'm done with this, see what happens is, there, that's perfect. That's a perfect fit. And what you got to do after this, you have to take a washer and solder it on there. Which, that's going to be great fun. I just know it. Now my thing is, okay, before I do anything, I want to, we're going to do the lead outs on here. I can't put this in until the lead outs are on. And I'll get set up for that. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to turn out, but as far as the video is concerned, I know the lead out wires will look fine, but what you need to do your lead out wires, first you need your lead outs. I robbed these from a unfinished Brodak Nobler kit, so I know it's the size I need. And you need some copper wire. I took this out of a, I think it was a 12 or a 10 gauge stranded, 12 AWG electrical wire, and I just used one of these strands for the wrapping. So I'll unravel one. That should be enough to get me where I need to be. Hopefully, I'm hoping this thing turns out. I'll try to keep it in the frame. I'm going to be working on this side, so maybe I'll move this camera over a little bit. Trying to keep the light good too, because my lighting really sucks. We'll try that. See what happens. Okay, so you take your lead out wires and you feed them through the bell crank. And I don't know, I like to go maybe 2.5 inches, maybe. We'll try it at 2.5 inches. I think that'll be okay. And you take your copper wire, and the plans show to start it like this and wrap, and then flip it over and wrap. But I like to twist these copper wires together, so I'm going to start it like this, because I've had better luck like that. So I'll wrap it, flip this end over, wrap it back, and twist the two copper wires together. That should be what I want. It's saying to wrap the copper wire with this, but I don't see how that's possible. This is too springy. I don't know. So this is the way I've always done it, so that's the way I'm going to do it. And if you can use, I guess, hemostats. Let me try. I have some hemostats. I'll try to hold everything together, but I don't know. It probably won't hold it. No. Alright, so we're going to just have to hold it with our hands. and you got to wrap it 5/8 of an inch one way, then flip it over. And you want to keep it as tight as possible. So I just kind of pinch it as I do it. I don't know how well that's showing up. And once you get it started, I'll take and push that down and then move it up. Not like that. Yeah, maybe down a little bit. Okay, so I'll just keep twisting her until I get 5/8 inch. And I know I probably mentioned earlier that I might use Bob Hunt's fuselage forming jig, the doubler former, to do the fuselage, but that probably was not available in 1968, so I'm going to scratch that plan. I'll save that for another plane. I can't wait to use it though. It looks pretty ingenious. So you just keep twisting this. I'll try to squeeze it together a little bit. Getting it? I don't know. And you just keep twisting her down. And once you get 5/8 inch, you flip it over. Probably 1/2 inch there. Nope, that's a little more than 5/8. All right, so you take this and you fold it over like that. And I'm gonna squeeze that a little with some needle nose so it's tight. And then you just start going back the other way with it. And you know, squeezing it tight as you go. I want to make sure it's even. Okay, I got it started. Now you just got to keep it tight. Some guys heat shrink tubing the end. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I'm not going to because I want this to be built like it would be in the 60s. I'm sure they had heat shrink tubing back then, but I'm not going to heat shrink tubing this one. It's not going to be flown. This is my tribute model to my dad's Nobler. And I'm going to try to make it look exactly the way he did it. Almost there. And I want to tie it to that when I get up there. And then this excess here I'll cut off. And if you're wondering the length of this, I think it's 18 inches, the copper. I believe no, it's 2 feet. 2 feet of copper wire, or 2-foot strand will get you plenty to work with. And I'm sure there's other guys that will do this completely different than I do, and that's fine. You know, everybody's got their way of doing things. So now I'm going to take these and twist them together, because I think that's a better way of doing it. And you can yank on that all you want, it ain't going nowhere. I'm going to use a heme stitch for that. And that's one side. You know, I might heat shrink that. I know I didn't really want to, but I might do that. Just to make sure it don't snag on anything. And that you just fold back. And this I'm going to cut off. And that's one. I'm gonna find some heat shrink too. Let me get some down here. And this heat shrink tubing I got at the auto parts store. Might need the next size up. All right. I hope that's staying in focus. So I'll just put that on. And I have a butane torch here. I think I'll probably cut that excess off. That's one side. Okay. And the other side I'll do it the same way. I dropped it on the floor and my floor is dark, I can't see it. There it is. This one I'm going to do fast speed because you already saw me do one, so I don't think I need to do the other one like that. So fast speed coming. There's the completed bell crank install, or not install, but completed bell crank lead out attachment. Okay, now I'll change positions on the camera, put the wing back on the table, and we'll install the bell crank. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put these lead outs through the wing, and you want to make sure you fish them through the right section of the wing so they're not twisted. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's one. That's the front. Now for the rear. Okay. So now we put 3 washers on. I threw in a picture, but off camera I put a bead of glue on that screw on the opposite side. So I got 3 washers, the bushing, the bell crank, and I'm going to put this phenolic washer on there. Another washer, lock washer, and then the top nut. I'm just going to hand tight it for now. So I'll give her a shot, see what it does. Well, I don't have much to work with for the ends. So that works. I might, with the tip on there, I got 3 inches to work with. I don't think that's near enough. So I might have to get some more cable. I don't think I have any. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have any cable. So I think I'm going to need more than 3 inches out here on the tip in order to tie those eyelets on. Pretty sure. Not to mention once you get them on, it has to have room to move. Alright, well, I'm going to end the video for tonight, or this part 2 on the bell crank installation. Next video I do, I should have longer cables. So if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified of new videos being posted. So until the next video, hopefully it won't be too long, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. That'll conclude the video for part 2 of the Top Flite Green Box Nobler Kit N-1 build. We installed the bell crank, got the lead outs ran, and unfortunately they're too short for my liking, so I went ahead and ordered some more from Brodak Manufacturing. So when those get in, I'll run the new set of lead outs, and part 3 will be the sheeting of the center section and the leading edge on both sides, and we'll see what else we can do. That's going to take a while, so that might be one video, so we'll see. So until next time, I'll see you on the next video.